Hey everybody, welcome to my latest video. You know, I've been guiding the Detroit River now since 1994. And the one thing that I've always been intrigued with is trying to figure out different ways of catching the walleye outside of the normal techniques. This video shows you 10 different baits and techniques that you may not have thought of to catch these fish throughout the season. We start out the first couple days of April throwing crankbaits at them. A lot of these crankbait fish will follow right to the boat. They're aggressive as ever. Watch this whole video and I guarantee you will have a better season this year. God bless everybody. Take care. You guys ever try pre-spawn cranking in the Detroit River? We're going to be in low 40-degree water temperature today, first week of April. Going to be cranking rock ledges, clay ledges, anywhere from 6 to 12 feet deep, 15 feet deep. Everywhere from shallow little Japanese baits all the way to DT14. You guys, give this pre-spawn cranking a try. Watch this video. Okay, so if you go down to Kentucky Lake or places like that, when the bass spawn afterwards, they get out on them ledges, and that's where guys throw crankbaits. That's essentially what I'm doing today. We got post-spawn walleye. The water's 48 degrees. It's April the 8th, and today I'm chucking this DD22 at them. 10-pound fluorocarbon. I'm sitting down 25 foot, casting perpendicular to the edges. Everyone's jigging by me. I'm throwing this deep diving crank. Watch what happens. Another good way to catch them in the spring, blade bait. We're going to give it a try here. Just jig it like you're jigging a normal walleye jig. Alright, so it's bottom bouncing season here. It's late May. Everyone's out here with the crawler harnesses and everything. Try something different. Try a 6-inch lizard instead of a spinner. No live bait, no nothing. So I got my bottom bouncer, got about a 4-foot lead. I got a 6-inch lizard here. I got a stinger on there, but to usually get the main hook, I got a Texas rig with like a 3/0 wide gap hook. Give this a try. Alright, so now we're into June, and the water's about 70 degrees. Another technique to try is Carolina rig. I got a 20-pound mainline, egg sinker, bead, swivel, and about 3 feet of fluorocarbon down to a small worm Texas rig. You can use bright worms, dark worms, 3-inch to 6-inch roughly, and I'm going to be bouncing the bottom as I drift down this river. You'll feel the rocks. It's a fantastic way to catch walleye and smallmouth. You get on the edges, you're going to catch a lot more bigger smallmouth than you're used to catching in this river. I used to use it all the time when I was a kid. been real hot this year, and one bait that I like to throw in the middle of summer is a jigging spoon. This is a 3/4 ounce jigging spoon, and I'll jig it under barges, under the MacArthur Bridge, around eddies, anything that's going to throw some shade on them. Just jig it like you do in the spring, but use one of these. It's great. Sometimes when the fishing's a little tougher, try downsizing to a crappy size jig. Got a little tiny piece of plastic on there, tiny little hook, small jig head. You can get away with a smaller jig head because the plastic is so small it sinks faster. Some days they don't want those 3 to 4 inch baits. Use it on 4 to 6 pound braid, and that'll catch you a lot of fish on the tougher days. When the water's cold and weeds aren't a problem, give this a try. I call it zipping. So I got 20-pound main line of braid, I got a 1 ounce bell sinker on a 3-way swivel, I got about 2 feet of mono for flotation, and I got a small, shallow running, high floating bass crank. You could use square bills, you could use this little bomber, whatever. Chuck it out there, feel for it to land on the bottom, start retrieving it. Just zip it along the bottom, you just tick it every once in a while, the walleye, the bass, everything eats it. Jigging repellers are well-known baits, but have you ever put a worm on the end of one and jigged it? You watch today what happens. They pound this little rig here. It's ugly as you could get. I don't use a minnow or nothing. Just give this a try. It's November. We're going to be doing some night fishing. The water's really cold. We're going to be throwing this scrounger head. Wobbles like this. Got a Bondy bait fish on there. Going to be stepping it down in the ledges, 8 foot down to about 12 foot.